All right, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today into water heater systems. We're pulling some really great insights from the experts over at Pacific Blue Mechanical. They really focus on homeowners in places like Port Coquitlam and, well, all across British Columbia.
Yeah, and our goal here is pretty simple, really. We want to cut through the technical talk. You just want reliable hot water, right? And maybe lower energy bills, and definitely a system that's safe. The secret sauce, you could say, is understanding why some systems cost more to run. Knowing that can actually save you real money.
Okay, perfect. So let's jump right into that big choice homeowners face: the heater itself. The info from Pacific Blue Mechanical lays out three main types. Let's start with the one most people know, the conventional tank. We know it's, well, cheaper up front, but what's the hidden cost, that financial trap inside the tank?
Right. The trap is this thing called standby heat loss. See, that big tank holds, say, 40, maybe 60 gallons of hot water all the time. 24/7, and it's always losing a bit of heat through the tank walls, even when you're not using any hot water. So that lost heat means the heater has to keep kicking on just to reheat the water that's sitting there.
Okay. So it's not just wasted energy, which is annoying enough, right? But if it's always cycling on and off like that, that must shorten its lifespan too.
Exactly. That constant on-off, it definitely drives up your monthly utility bill. And maybe more importantly, it just wears out the components faster. It prematurely ages the unit. That's probably the single biggest downside operationally of that conventional system.
Right. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. If losing heat from the tank is the problem, then the tankless system seems like the obvious fix. It heats water only when you need it, on demand. What's the key benefit there? And is there a catch? A limitation?
The huge benefit is truly endless hot water. It literally never runs out because it's heating it right then as you use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a consideration: flow rate. Tankless heaters are rated in GPM gallons per minute. So if you try to run like 2 showers plus the dishwasher all at the same time, a smaller tankless unit might struggle to keep up. You might notice the water isn't quite as hot. Getting the right size is really, really important for tankless.
That makes sense. A crucial point. Okay, now the third option, the heat pump water heater. Pacific Blue Mechanical calls this the eco-friendly choice. But why is it so much more efficient than, say, a standard electric tank?
Well, it's basically clever physics. A standard electric heater makes heat using heating elements, like in a giant kettle. That uses a lot of electricity. A heat pump, though, it mainly uses electricity to move existing heat from the air around it, or sometimes the ground, into the water tank. Since it's moving heat instead of creating it from scratch, the energy use is way, way lower.
That's fascinating. And here's a real golden nugget from the Pacific Blue Mechanical info. If you're thinking about upgrading to one of these high-efficiency models, like a heat pump or even some tankless units, you might actually qualify for rebates or, tax incentives from the government, provincial or federal. And those incentives can really help knock down that initial purchase price, making it a smarter buy sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. That's a key thing to check out. Now, shifting gears to installation. When you're dealing with gas lines, electrical, plumbing, especially in BC, getting professional help is critical for two big reasons: safety and following the rules. Experts know the local building codes, say in Port Coquitlam or Vancouver. They make sure everything's up to snuff, preventing really bad risks like fire or leaks. Plus, they make sure it's installed right to get that maximum efficiency we talked about.
Right, and the pros usually offer warranties too, which is good for peace of mind. Okay, but let's talk about simple stuff. What's the most common issue homeowners can actually tackle themselves? Something to save money and maybe make the heater last longer.
Yeah, regular maintenance, it's non-negotiable if you want the heater to live a long, efficient life.
Yeah.
And probably the single most important thing you can do: flush the tank once a year, get rid of the sediment buildup.
We hear that advice a lot, flush the tank, but why is that sediment so bad? Sometimes you hear those weird popping or rumbling sounds from the heater. What's actually going on?
That noise, the popping or rumbling, it's often called kettling. It's literally like a kettle boiling. What happens is sediment builds up on the bottom, burying the heating element. The element superheats the tiny bit of water trapped right under that layer of gunk, making steam bubbles that pop. It wastes a ton of energy trying to heat through that rock-like scale instead of heating your water. And worse, it really stresses the tank, increasing the risk it could fail. Flushing stops the noise and lets it heat properly again.
Wow, okay, that makes perfect sense. So tying this all together for you listening, the advice from the experts at Pacific Blue Mechanical seems pretty clear. Choose the right type of heater for your family's needs, make sure it's installed correctly to meet those local safety codes, and definitely commit to that simple but really vital yearly maintenance, like flushing.
Yeah, exactly. And if you think about the bigger picture, understanding things like standby loss or the risks of sediment, it means you're more in control. You can keep your system reliable, avoid those nasty surprise breakdowns, and save money too.
Okay, so this leaves us with a really important question for you to think about. Do you actually know if your current water heater is the right size for your family, especially during peak times? Maybe try counting how many things use hot water at the same time during your busiest hour: showers, laundry, dishwasher. Really thinking about that peak demand is the key next step to making sure you never get caught in a cold shower.